Yeah, so everything about this album has kind of been different, in a way. How it wanted to be birthed into the world, how I had to record it. Like I got off touring Flesh and Blood after 3 years of touring that, like we normally do, and we decided to move out of the city and kind of return to the country, and that was really great. And I grew up on a river in the country, and so I'd always dreamt about going back to the countryside and living on a river, and so we did. We found a beautiful place, and I built these massive gardens. I took a year off and just built massive gardens and just made home for us and the family, and made some friends and built some knives, and it was really good. Kids went into school, kind of normal school for the first time in a while, and it was really good. It was real coming home. It felt like a real coming home, and I guess that's, in a way, that's why this album is called Home, because that was the backdrop. And then all the things that kind of came up when you stopped stirring the water, you stopped touring, and you just have a bit of time to kind of, a safe place to kind of be. It was interesting, like kind of what came up. And so that's when you stop stirring the water, the silt starts kind of settling, but also the bubbles of all the kind of murky stuff kind of starts bubbling to the surface as well. And it's really interesting, like that's when the anxiety started showing its face a little bit more concisely and crystallized. It's when I started realizing some of my processes for dealing with my emotions weren't like cutting it anymore. And meanwhile, the songs just keep on coming, and yeah, this idea, this kind of return to the scene of the crime, of some of the past traumas, return to home, back to the country, just to kind of heal up, return to some of like the relationship issues in my life, or out in my life as well. And yeah, it had its own little cycle. It had its own little way it wanted to be birthed, this album, and to make the album, I had to kind of go. It's like that classic child's nursery rhyme. It's like, can't go over it, can't go under it, can't go around it. You must go through it. It's like I had like the album was there, and I wanted to make this album. It's like, yeah, I know. I'll take some time off, and I'll make this next album. I got these songs. I got these kind of Beyonce beats and these things, and meanwhile, all marinating is like all this emotional stuff going on at home and in my mind and my home, and it's going, cool, yeah, you can do all that. So you ready? Because in order to do that, you have to go through it. To get to me is through it. You can't just go, yeah, I'm dealing with all this stuff, and record the album. Like, that's not how I want to be made. You cannot make me this way. Like, the album and the songs are their own beasts, and it's like a wild horse, man. I can see them. I see dead people kind of thing. It's like I see wild horse. I see unfinished songs. I see songs, and like, it's a real beautiful gift. I feel like it's a gift, like not like a talent. Like I feel like it's been given to me like as a gift. Like, oh fuck, I can see these things. They're beautiful. I actually almost know how to bring them to life, but they all want the saddle put on a certain way. And every time you get cocky and go, yeah, I put the saddle on the last Brumby this way, it gallops off from me. You're like, oh, I see horses there. No. It's this album, this Brumby, this wild, beautiful creature said, you can make me and put that saddle on me, and you can ride me into the sunset, but like, we're not riding around this. We're not riding over it, we're not riding under it, we're gonna ride through this. If you want this thing that I am and that we are together, then it's real, and it's like the subject matter you're writing about and the things you're trying to explore, there's no other way to make me than to live this. And that was fucking, and still is to this moment, really challenging. It tells me to stand up constantly. Like, you're home, stand up. Stand up, this is your home. This is your body, these are your songs, this is your family, this is your life. How do you want to live it? You're going to blame your dad forever? You're going to blame your dad's dad for dying forever? You're going to blame kids at school forever? You're going to blame your anxiety? You're going to blame what? That you work away from home? You're going to blame what? Like, get up. So right now I'm in the middle of the mix, and the mix is not as easy as I'd like it to be, and like I have to keep on standing up. It's like, you are not, and it's, the thing is, the mix just brings up all this stuff of confrontation and like, you know, that all this other stuff, like, oh God, communication with individuals, all my baggage is all tied up in all this symbolic stuff throughout trying to build this album. It's like, okay, so now you've written the songs, good. To record, we have this area of baggage to deal with today. So in order to record that over there, now deal with this. And then you deal with it and you go, I got an album, great, cool. So the next stuff that you'll need to deal with to get it mixed is like, fuck me, fuck off. Can't I just, but it's been real. It's a coming home to the home I want to live in for the next 40 years. Not the home I lived in for the last 40 years. So, you know, there's a bit of chucking away. There's a bit of chucking away of some old stuff. But as I said with the sonics of this album, a lot of the things I do as a musician and as a trio, I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just because I want to bring in some of that stuff, you know, some of those beats or some of that stuff that doesn't sound like me at all. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but yeah. So it's been a huge journey to kind of make a new home that I want to live in, and it's been an odyssey. It's been an absolute odyssey. Every album is. This one in particular has been the most surprising, the most called the most out of me. It's been the most challenging. It's been the most demanding. Like, you know, I see myself as an employee. Like, maybe from the outside it may look like John Butler is the boss and he, you know, and he makes the decisions, but John, if I'm to speak about myself in the third person, works for the songs. I'm employed by the songs, and so I just do everything I can to bring songs to life in the way they want them to become, into the way they want to come into the world. I'll do yes song, but what now song? Yes, is there anything else song? What can I do for you song? And this song has been, this album and these songs have just been like, they don't fuck around. They have not pandered to any of my baggage. They're like, cool, well, you deal with that, and then when you're ready, then we can do this. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I don't think it's a dead end. I don't think like, oh, now I'm just like, I'm enlightened, but it's definitely been an enlightening process coming home.